Well, I said I was done making videos on the Jimmy Butler situation until something major happened. That something major has happened today. The Heat are suspending Jimmy Butler indefinitely as of today because he walked into Heat shoot-around this morning and was told the team was not going to start him and was going to start Haywood freaking Highsmith instead moving forward. This was a extremely inflammatory move by the Heat. Look, has Jimmy handled the situation properly? No. Did the Heat handle this situation properly? Absolutely not, and I want to expand upon why that is in this video. So, I seriously was starting to think that Jimmy was probably going to be traded, but I thought there was a small chance that he wouldn't be, and that if he wouldn't be, he would actually be open to rejoining the Heat in a full capacity and actually trying to help the team win and trying to improve his trade value going into the summer so that he could try to negotiate or figure out some sort of sign and trade type option with another team or be out of the team regardless and get paid this summer by another team. But the thing is, that is like totally off the table now. That would have worked because in order for Jimmy to rehabilitate his reputation, playing good basketball for the rest of the season and being competitive with the Heat would have done that, would have shown another team. Yeah, he's 35 years old. Yeah, he'll be 36 next season, but he's still got a few more good years in him. So a team would be a lot more interested in signing him. Now that seems to be off the table, really, in all honesty, by no fault of Jimmy. The Heat, this feels to me like Pat Riley being petty. Because obviously they suspended him the last 2 games, and because he missed a flight or whatever, and I didn't even make a video on that as an update. I don't think the honest truth is I'm forgetting how many videos I've made Jimmy Butler, or how many different videos I've made on Jimmy Butler at this point, and what the point of those videos were. So I may have mentioned that in another video, or made a bit of, I don't think I made a video since that happened though, since that 2-game suspension. But he's returning from that suspension, and my thought process was, this isn't probably going to end well, but there's like an outside chance it does. This takes that possibility entirely off the table. This is kind of the final straw where it's like, yeah, whether he gets traded or not, he will not be playing for the Heat again. And he will almost certainly be getting traded because the Heat would be stupid to lose him for absolutely nothing, which is exactly what would happen if they don't trade him. Because I don't think Jimmy Butler's the type of guy who's going to take the insult to his ego and to his pride of them starting Haywood Highsmith over him very well. And clearly he didn't. He walked out of shoot-around today after that happened. Again, like I said, it feels like a Pat E. Riley ego move, like oh, you don't want to play for us anymore? Oh, you want to demand a trade? Oh, you want to do all this posturing and act like you're better than us? Oh, well, we'll see about that. We're going to bench you, knowing that Jimmy's ego isn't going to handle that well. It's what this is. Here's the honest truth. And then they're going to turn around and suspend him indefinitely, which I guess is the logical solution to him probably in all likelihood storming out of shoot around. But the Heat caused this. Like in the initial issues of this situation, I think Jimmy had a large role to play in the starting of this beef and the initial problems that were happening between the team, between Jimmy. Jimmy wanted to be paid, realistically, probably more money than he's worth. Jimmy was clearly not playing his hardest and playing his best as of late, and then he got suspended because of what they called conduct detrimental to the team. So he comes back, plays a couple games, clearly isn't super happy, misses a flight, gets suspended again, comes back today, and was supposed to play tonight. Turns out he's not going to get started, or he's not going to start, and storms out. And that feels like the final straw for a beef that has been going on for a few, really a couple months now. I mean, this started in all honesty in the summer with comments that Pat Riley made and stuff like that about Jimmy. And I'm sure Jimmy's had a contributing factor. He's been a large contributing factor to this. There's no disagreeing, I don't think, that you can have that Jimmy hasn't been a massive contributor to this, and that he doesn't have a toxic attitude about this situation to a certain extent. But I can't sit here and defend Pat Riley's aspect of this. I can't defend the Heat. I tried to at first. You can't anymore. This is them doing something inflammatory, knowing that it'll get a response, and knowing that they can, I guess, try to use that as an excuse to injure Jimmy's reputation. And the problem with this is the Heat have had this great reputation around the league, if not a bit annoying, but a realistic and honestly earned reputation around the league for years of being a high-class, professional, really well-run organization. Guys go there and they become better role players and better players than they would otherwise. They're great at player development. They play harder, they're tougher, they're meaner. They want it more than you do. And they've had examples of that being the case, making the finals in 2020, making the finals in 2023, both of times with rosters that didn't really deserve to make the finals. And they did it twice, and Jimmy was a huge reason for that. But I think there has been a lot of validity to the whole Heat culture mindset that has existed over the past decade and a half under Coach Spo, really since Pat Riley got there, in all honesty. And we've seen Pat Riley go at odds, be head-to-head, bumping heads with a superstar before in Shaquille O'Neal. Now, that was 20 years ago. So I wasn't a basketball fan back then. I was 5 years old. A lot of people watching this video were not basketball fans back then. Some of y'all might not have been born then. But it's happened before, and Pat Riley obviously has an ego, but this feels like more of a damaging blow to the Heat's future chances of acquiring stars and of maintaining this reputation of being this basketball wizardry. I don't even know what the term I'm looking for is, but this center place, mecca of basketball, which the Heat have tried to cultivate their culture to be for so long. This is a disaster. And it's clearly taking their toll on everybody. The Heat as a whole are not all that good of a team. And here's the honest truth, y'all. You cannot, I'm sorry, this is not intended to be a disrespect towards Haywood Highsmith at all. But you cannot tell me that Haywood Highsmith, averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds on, sure, 41% from three, but overall, 6 and 3. That dude does not deserve to start over Jimmy Butler. He doesn't. There's no logical basketball reason for this move. This is the Heat trying to be inflammatory and basically insulting Jimmy to his face. That's what it is. And for a Heat team that somehow is 5-5 in their last 10 games, still has a positive net rating and is sitting as the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference right now, only half a game back of the 6th seed. This is so stupid for this team to do. Either trade Jimmy or figure out how to halfway get along for the rest of the season, because your team isn't terrible. You're too good to tank. Even without Jimmy, you're probably too good to tank. If you're not going to trade him, figure it out and become at least semi-cordial for the rest of the season until you can go your separate ways. That's off the table now, and it's off the table because of the Heat. I'm not certain it was ever totally on the table because I'm not obviously aware of the inner workings of this team and what's been going on, but I can't sit here and believe that that wasn't much more of an option than it is now. I just feel like, oh man, the Heat have literally ruined their reputation in like a month. Players are not going to like this organization anymore. I mean, honestly, the player development stuff, for all the credit that they get, it's like they basically fell into Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware was a great draft pick. Hi, Archer. Kel'el Ware was a great draft pick, but I don't know if they're quite as successful these last couple seasons in some of this player development stuff. And I mean, you just wonder if the golden days of Miami are just coming to an end, and if to a large part, it's their own fault. This is a disaster situation, and it's going to come to an end soon. It came to a head today. This feels like the last straw. And I feel like I had to make another video on it. So that's all. Those are my thoughts. I'm almost a little stunned and a little unsure what to say to a certain extent. So y'all can probably tell that by the way that I'm talking about this situation. I'm not quite as comfortable with what I'm saying as in normal, because I'm not totally confident about it. It's just such a weird situation. I don't know. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.